Hey there, fellow gardeners. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are diving into the world of blueberry bushes and uncovering the mystery behind pesky problems that can wreak havoc on your blueberry bushes. I'm Chip Smith, and I'm here to guide you through the top 5 things that can mean disaster in your blueberry bushes. So grab your gardening gloves and let's get started. Blueberries have a very specific soil requirement. First of all, they need very acidic pH. Anywhere between 4.5 and 5.5 is ideal for the health of the blueberry bushes. They also need a well-drained soil. So if you're in a clay type soil, a heavy clay, that's going to retain too much water. And due to the shallow root system that blueberries have, that can cause a lot of damage to the blueberry bush. So what you're going to need to do is amend the soil. Now there's several different types of amendments that you can use. What we used here was pine bark fines. They're very small pieces of bark. You can get those in bags at your Home Depot or other gardening shops. You can also buy them from mills that will sell you a dump truck load. And actually that's what we did when we first planted all these bushes. We got, I think it was 90 yards of pine bark fines, and we tilled that into the soil, which helped for aeration and just a better drainage system. We are on a slope, which also helps. We're on a south-facing slope, which is actually perfect conditions for blueberries. So the water's not going to sit there long, but adding the pine bark fines into the soil certainly helped with the drainage. You can use sphagnum peat moss as well, and there's other things that you could use. I have found that the pine bark fines are absolutely the best to use. So you want to be sure to test your pH levels. You may ask, how do I know what my pH levels are? Well, there's a couple of different ways. First of all, you can send a soil test off that you can get at your local agriculture extension agency. They can provide you with that. You can send that off. It'll provide all kinds of information about the soil that you're planting in and of course your pH levels. Also, there are pH test kits out there. And I've tried a lot of different test kits. Most are not very accurate, but I have found a piece of equipment that is very, very, very accurate. I love it. It's the best tool I've got in my arsenal right now, and I will go in depth on this tool in another video, but it's a pH tester. It's digital, it's very accurate, and I love it. Third on our list are pests. Every gardener's nemesis. Blueberry bushes are susceptible to lots of different pests, including aphids, spider mite, blueberry maggots. These little critters can wreak havoc on your blueberry bushes. It can cause leaf damage, it can cause loss of fruit, and just an overall decline of the bush. Every morning I come out and I keep a close eye on these bushes, especially during fruiting season. That's when you'll notice when the worms come out, the caterpillars, and I can't think of the name of the caterpillar right now, but I've seen them strip a whole bush of all the leaves, and all that's left are the berries. It's the weirdest looking thing I've ever seen. So I come out, and when I see those, I just carry a bucket around. If I see anything that's got any damage, I'll go ahead and just prune that off. And if I see the caterpillars, I'll pull those off, put those in a bucket. One thing that we struggle with here every June are the June bugs. Goodness gracious, from year to year, that just seems to get worse and worse, and it's just something everybody has to deal with. They don't do a whole lot of damage, but just the fact that they're on the bushes and you're trying to pick your blueberries, and literally there's thousands of them around. Freaks some people out when they're picking blueberries. I've found nothing to mitigate that pest. One of the things that we do here at our farm is we try to keep our rows manicured, which means mowing 2 or 3 times a week It means if we need to weed eat between the bushes, we'll do that. You just want to have good hygiene around your bushes, and that will help mitigate a lot of the little pests that may want to try to wreak havoc on your bushes. That's helped us a lot, but it doesn't take long. I've got probably 8 or 9 rows that I need to get on it because I've fallen behind a little bit with all the other things we've got going on here at the farm. One thing I'll show you that we're thinking about doing over the next year or two, and we'll talk about what I've done here with the landscape fabric and adding the mulch. We have added 3 rows of landscape fabric all the way down, and we've got 8 to 9 inches of mulch on our bushes. But I'm thinking seriously about doing this all the way down. I'm going to see how this does this year. I don't have to mow. It's less weeding between the bushes. It keeps them clean. I'll let you know how this goes. And I'm going to be talking in just a few minutes on why we did this. All right, number 4 on our list is fungus. Blueberry bushes can fall victim to a lot of different fungus. And I'm going to read off my cheat sheet because it's hard to pronounce some of these. First of all, powdery mildew, botrytis, I think that's how you pronounce it. And also there's anthracnose. One that we have been battling over the last 5 years is a fungus that causes mummification of the blueberries, and it's actually called mummyberry. We've been struggling with this over the last 5 years, and it's continuously gotten worse. There are sprays that you can spray. We don't spray on this farm, so that was not an option for us. So what I chose to do was to put this landscape fabric down and mulch heavily. We've got 8 to 9 inches of mulch on these rows, and it's mainly affected the climax berry. We also have premier, tiff blue, and powder blue, but primarily it's the climax that it has affected. So we've got the landscape fabric and the mulch heavily on our climax. So far, cross our fingers, it seems to have really mitigated the problem. We'll know closer to June 15th. What happens is the berries will start turning a pink and almost like they're ripening early, and they'll get to a certain stage of that development, and then all of a sudden they'll start falling off. They'll fall down to the ground, and they'll sit there all summer long, all winter long. And in the spring, when it's wet, you've got all the spring rains, little spores, little mushroom things will pop up out of the ground where those berries have laid, and they'll send up spores that will get on the leaves. It affects the leaves, the bees get on the leaves and the berries, the flowers, and they transfer this all throughout the bush. And last year, we probably had a 50% loss of our berries. On top of that, we also had a late frost, which wreaked havoc on our berries as well. So the climax last year really did nothing. So I pruned them heavily last year, and then we put the landscape fabric down and the mulch, and I've been looking at them daily, and the berries look really good. So I'll let you know probably in another video what the outcome has been on my little experiment here, and hopefully they'll do okay because the bushes are absolutely loaded this year. Absolutely loaded. It's going to be a great year for picking blueberries. And last but not least is maintenance. I really don't like doing maintenance, but you have to do maintenance. Mainly you have to prune. Pruning is key to the success of a blueberry bush. If you don't prune your bushes, eventually the bush is just going to wither and die. It needs to be pruned. It just craves to be pruned. And what happens is every time you prune an area, that area is going to force new growth out of that area every year. And it may send out 2, 5, 10, or 12 new shoots from that one little area there. And all that area is going to be what's going to produce fruit over the next 2 years. And then you just continue about every 3 to 4 years of that growth, you want to prune out. So anything that's older than, I usually say the rule of 4 to 5 years, I'm going to prune that out. I'll prune it down maybe 8 to 10 inches from the ground, and then that will send out new shoots for the next 3, 4, 5 years. We have on YouTube other videos on pruning that you can go check out, and I'll put it down in the description down there. But it's a good one on pruning and why you should prune. But pruning is what creates vigor in your blueberry bush. So prune your bushes. They'll love you for it. Guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it informative. If I left out anything, or if you've got any questions that you may have, drop them down in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer them. If you did enjoy this video, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, hit the little notification bell so you'll see the next videos that I've got coming up. So thank you, y'all have a great day, and I'll see you at the farm.